You have to unmute the mic if you want to talk. Hello, I'm here. So it's going to be a pretty low key stream, kind of impromptu, mostly because I wasn't able to edit a video like I wanted to. So, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting on a blanket here. Hold on. So I just was like, well, what else can I do? I normally, I want to keep up my streak. I've been going good this year so far. Every week I've been posting a video as promised. So I was like, let's still do something. So I was like, well, I got to make maps for Saturday. And so here we are. So we're going to kind of do that. Just chill with me while I make maps. I'm going to be using Dungeondraft, hopefully just one map actually. But we'll kind of talk about that. But apologies ahead of time. One, I ordered food. So eventually I'm going to be eating on stream. But two, I'm still very much congested. I don't know if you can tell from my voice. But I'm sure I'll be sniffling and coughing, and I will try not to do so in the mic, but no promises. But I am feeling loads better, even if I am still very congested. So let's talk about this map that I'm going to do. So let me just preface this. I'm not a mapping pro. I don't make maps for a living. That's my food. You probably could hear that. So I'm not a mapping expert by any means. I've really only used Dungeondraft for this. Before that, I just drew it out on a, whiteboard-esque like mat that I rolled out, and I would just draw it, or I would sketch it in my notebook. So what you're going to see is me probably struggle to, one, remember how Dungeondraft works because it's been a month since I made a map. But I am going to try to talk you through like my thought process. I do have like a sketch. I sketched out you're not going to be able to see this. Okay. That's my really, really rough sketch of a map. So we're going to see how this turns out. But this is for the one shot on Saturday. So if you're in my one shot on Saturday and you're here, go away because there will be some spoilers. Although I already told my players that too. And there's only 4 of you. So, hopefully it's you're not here. I love Dungeondraft. It's very user friendly. Yes, it is. Also, I should give you guys a heads up. Chat, there's always like a delay. So like if you're chatting with me in here and I'm very slow to respond or it seems very off, that's why. But anyway, so if you're part of the stream on Saturday, go away. Otherwise, there will be spoilers. So if you also you're going to join the stream on Saturday and you don't want spoilers, also go away. But yeah, so we'll talk about some of the stuff with Dungeondraft. I can even show you like the kinds of assets that I use. I just downloaded some new ones. We're going to try those ones out, although I don't know that I'll turn all of them on because that'll be a little overwhelming, and we'll get to that. But let's begin the spoilers, shall we? So let's talk about what the adventure is, and then you guys can get a sense of what I'm going for in this map. But the adventure is from this book. Ooh, sorry, I don't want to hit the mic. One Shot Wonders. So I kickstarted this, forgot I kickstarted it, and then it arrived and I was like, oh yeah. But somebody in my community was like, you might be interested in this book. And I was like, you right. But today's adventure, so last month's stream was also in here. It was called Welcome Home. So if you didn't check that one out, that was this guy. So I made this map. Okay, sorry, it's a little wonky. But yeah, I made this map in Dungeondraft because they did provide a map, which is good. But not every adventure in here has maps. And we're going to talk about this guy called Nightmare Glade. Again, Mike is in, but there's no map for this one, but it does have a section here that says there are some key locations. But in particular, it's a corrupted forest, and this unicorn lives here. Okay, so they live in the Bright Glade clearing. So there's going to be, it has to be a section that includes a clearing. My food has arrived, as you can see. Hi, thanks. Love you. And so we're going to have to make, I think this is going to be kind of difficult, to be honest, because we're going to have to make a magical looking forest, but make it look corrupted. And then we also have to catch everything on fire. So we have to make something beautiful and destroy it, which could be fun, but also I feel like a little complicated. And then some other key things to this map is that it mentions a snake pit. So I was actually thinking we could do something cool with tiles. I don't know if I'll get to that during stream because I literally have to make this entire thing before tomorrow. And that feels like an extra detail that we could do later. And I don't want to spend, I mean, I could spend all day on stream, but I think it would be a very long, lonely stream and most people would go away. But yeah, so we're gonna try our hand at this. So the adventure itself is level 7 or 8 is suggested, and I have 4 players. So maybe if I finish it in an hour, which I kind of doubt, just because I think this is going to be difficult for me as a map maker, as a beginner map maker, I think it'll take longer than that. But if I end up finishing it or getting close to it within an hour, hour and a half, then maybe I'll show you what I'm going to do on Foundry and like importing it, setting up any extra tiles, that kind of thing, setting up the adventure. But I honestly doubt we'll get to that. So that's the general agenda, as it were. So I have Dungeondraft up. If you guys have questions, I do have the chat up. I'll actually move it to the other side of the screen for the sake of me being able to keep track of it. So feel free to ask questions. I can tell you what I'm doing and I'll chat as we go. But I also know that I'm honestly I'm very bad at multitasking on stream. This is why I do better when we record things and I can edit out all the ums and stuff. Yeah. So first I was going to play some music though. So you guys let me know if it's too loud, but I'm playing some Michael Gelfi Studios music. One, because it's stream friendly, but two, because if you've never listened to their music, it's really good. It's they have ambiances and playlists for everything. We were gonna play the 1 hour of forest music because it's applicable. But you guys let me know if it's too loud or whatever, because I can never tell, and I always in fact a lot of times I turn it down because for me it's really loud, but then for you guys it's super quiet. So there's that. We start our music. You guys give me a heads up and let me change the screen for ya. What is it? This one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, my head might be in the way though. We might have to move my head down actually. Whoa. There we go. You're gonna want to see the menu. Okay, so let's just go over my asset packs because I did add some. Now, I'm one of those people who really likes everything to match, and I already like the Dungeondraft basic assets that are in there. So I kind of try to find other asset packs that match that. And also, I'm just more familiar with the Dungeondraft stuff that's already included, so it makes it faster for me. That's too loud for me. I'm sorry. I turned it down a little. Hopefully, it's not too low for you. So all of my asset packs have something to do with that. In particular, Birdie's stuff is free. And I use a lot of that. The only other one that I have that's not specific asset objects is the Krugger's Shadow and Light pack. Definitely recommend because it adds a lot. And then I just recently downloaded all of these. So these are all like Scronts, whatever packs. And I just downloaded them. I also paid for the commercial license, partially because I just wanted to pay them for good assets so that they continue to make them, because they all looked really good and they all kind of match the style already built into Dungeondraft. So I figure that would make it just like all look more cohesive. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use some of these, although we don't need all of them because, again, we're doing, it's a forest, right? So I'm only going to turn on the ones that I feel like we might need. Partially also because I'm not as familiar with all of these asset packs. Again, I just downloaded them. So it's going to be overwhelming if there were too many things on screen. Hi, Steven. So let's just like dive right into it. But so for one of these, I like all of Birdie's stuff and I'll keep all of that on. And obviously the Shadow Light pack. All of these have a free version too, if you were interested. You don't have to pay for the commercial license. But again, I want to support the person who made them and, you know, hopefully they continue to make them. I'm going to turn the greenery one because we're in a forest. I'm going to turn on the farm one. I don't know if we'll use it. And I definitely want the more terrains. I don't think we need carts. We don't really need any of this because there shouldn't be anything too crazy, but we're going to need fire because, again, we're going to create and destroy a forest all in one go. I don't know what's in the wooden stuff one. That looks more like buildings. We'll put it in case there's like stumps or something. And we'll do the treasure. Though I don't know that we'll need the treasure. But well, no, I won't turn on the treasure. We can always add more later. But I will turn on the rocks. See, already that's like a lot. I'm going to be overwhelmed. But yeah, so except I found all of those also, by the way, on cartography assets or something like that. So new. I'm just going to pick, yeah, 55-inch TV. It doesn't matter. It's going to be on Foundry. And then I'm going to disable the shadows because I like to go in with the shadow pack and edit them anyway. So that'll make it look pretty good. Never used Dungeondraft before. Interested to see how it works. Good. Yeah. I'm not an expert on it, so just keep that in mind. But I can show you around. So, but yeah. So we're gonna go with a 55-inch TV because I have a big screen anyway. Dungeondraft is also pretty cheap if you've never used it before. At least when I bought it, it was $20, which is why I was like, and no subscription. So I was like, I love it. So we should start with the grass, the ground. And also I made it landscape, even though I drew a little thing here. It could go either way. Oh, you can't see that. I'm too tiny. But yeah, so my little thing, yeah. Let me read this though. Okay, let's see. So there's several things. So there's a corrupted forest. So it says tall trees cast shadows across the path and an unnatural chill fills the air, blah, 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 blah. So when they enter the forest, it acts like the spike growth spell. And the dark trees and thick brambles make the way forward disorienting. So we kind of want it to be a dark forest, a little spooky. I never used it before either. Incarnate. I have used Incarnate, but I think I only used like a trial and I didn't like it. It was too hard. And that was years ago. So I don't remember much about it. I can't even compare to this, honestly, at this point. But hi. So we need a corrupted forest. We need a snake pit, which they have to somehow So the key thing here is they're going to have to walk on it and then the snakes like fall. So for me, that means it probably has to look like vines or something. So we're going to need a lot of vines on the path. And then the bright glade clearing is a circle of birch trees, which will be on fire. And that's where the unicorn will be, but also where they fight the boss, which is how many? Let me see. 5? Wait, where is it? 5 nightmares can be found within the circular glade, hence the name, Nightmare Glade. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is just start with the terrain. So I always add more, unlock 4 more slots here, because then you have more options, and I feel like it gives you more variation. You can really play around with the textures and stuff. So this first one is going to be what it just automatically fills with. So I'm going to pick. We're going to look at some of these other ones. Okay, I can't read it. So just to see, because I haven't used these yet. These are not default, right? These are all scronts. But it's almost too pale green would be good because it's corrupted, right? We want it to seem dull and let's see. Farm and field. Greenery. Like a moss. Oh. And then like a flagstone. So I think I'm going to go with... So these ones here are the default ones, right? So very similar to what they have going, but I think they're too bright. I like this, where was it? This pale grass. That's what we're going to go with. Like it's dying. We need one for the path. So let's see. It'd probably be like a dirt path. I'm just going to pick this and draw. Let's see. So your brush size is up here. You can fiddle with that. You can also use the scroll wheel. If you've never used Dungeondraft, oh, my head is in the way, but in this bottom left-hand corner, it tells you, let me see. Let me move my head up a little so you can see. It just, oh, there you go. In this bottom corner here, it tells you like shortcuts. So you can see scroll wheel can adjust your brush size, and I'm doing it right now. You can see at the top left there, it changes it. So if you're new to Dungeondraft, sorry, I got it. Boop, 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 boop. So it should, that should help you, because in the beginning I was like, what am I doing? All right. I mean, that's too big, but I just want to see what it looks like. And now if I change it, it'll change what I've drawn too. See, so that's too dark. I kind of like the idea of, that's good. Okay. I want to add variation to the grass. So I'm going to add, what's this? Let's see. Yeah, I like that. And then soft. What's soft? We're just playing around with brushes because these ones are new for me. I do think we'll add a mossy one. We're gonna play with some colors here. This pale blue one is gonna be too pale. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. And then more path stuff. I want some rocks, maybe. No, that's too intense. Let's go to our default cobblestone. Where are you? Gravel here. Yeah. Okay, there's that. And then I don't know if I'll need these other two yet. We'll just leave it. We also kind of need, we might need more room, honestly. The grid might be too small. Anyway, so let's erase all of the crap I just put on here. How do I do that? I don't remember. Oh, I also should probably have smooth blending on, so you can see the differences with it on, with it off. I kind of like it on. So brush size. Is it Alt? That wasn't Alt. No. Oh man, I don't even remember. Whoop. Oh yeah, you can turn it off. That was what this is. You can turn your terrain off. All right, well, we can just do this too. And that'll erase everything. All right. Like I said, not an expert in this. All right, so we're gonna do a dirt path. I want it to be kind of, I mean, they're not gonna run around too much in this first section. But we want to kind of keep the pit on the one side and then like the glade on the other. So I think I'm going to make almost a maze-like structure to this, like a very windy path. So let's make this smaller. It's going to be a small path too. I want the intensity up though, because then I don't have to hold the button as long. We're just going to kind of do a little wonky path here. All right. There you go. Ooh. So where's the gravel? We're gonna need a circle here of trees probably. Actually, we should probably change this into 2 maps just to make the forest feel bigger. It should be fine though. 5 nightmares. How big is a nightmare? Like a medium-sized creature? So, yeah, we probably do need more room. Undo. Let's just make it here then. That's just a placeholder for right now. We'll make it pretty in a second. Now we're just gonna kind of solidify this a little bit more. So one of the things is when you're like making a path, right? If it's a well-used path, the middle is going to be worn down, right? So I normally like kind of use the cobbles as like the outside of it, like an outline. And then I kind of come in here and like fill it with dirt because that just makes sense to me. But also it adds more to look at the map, you know? You kind of gives it a little more intrigue. I do think I need another dirt color though. Be careful with using too many terrain brushes because it can slow down load time. I have a pretty good computer. This is my gaming PC. So it's pretty good in terms of that. So I don't have to worry as much, but I probably wouldn't do more than 8 brushes just because it does take a lot to then render the map and all of that. But 8 seems to be a good, like, sweet spot. On my laptop, I can't do more than 4. So that's also why I'm doing it on here. And I do think we need to cover it in, like, vines and stuff, but we'll get there. Let's add another dirt. Kind of, you know, just make it kind of varied here. Maybe just adding some like mud, essentially. Probably around the bends more than anything. All right, good enough. Nothing too crazy. Let's add some variation in the grass too, though. Because we're corrupted, sure, but we were probably a very pretty forest, right? A unicorn lives here. Hi. Welcome. I feel like map making takes a lot of thinking, and not a lot of people do a lot of thinking when they make their maps. They're like, oh, I need this and this, but like, you probably also have to figure out how things work in the real life and like in real life, and then kind of mimic that. There we go. Let's add some more greens too. A lot of this is going to be covered in trees, so I'm not like super worried about it. And I'm just doing like soft clicks and light drags, so it's not like as crazy. But here we go. There we go. I think this needs to be more dirt too. And then shrink this and just drag it a little. Add some. This is rocky terrain already on here, so I might, yeah, kind of do this. Darken it up a bit. All right. It's not the most beautiful, right? Don't get your panties in a wad yet. But we also had some moss. We could do that in certain areas. I think this would be more mossy. But I don't know that I like that. We'll think about it more. Let's get some objects on here and then we'll know for sure. The other thing we have is a big pit of snakes. So I think that needs to be here. Let's see. A pit would be dark. It wouldn't be perfectly round either. Actually, let's move it down here because I don't want them to see the glade from the pit. So I'm gonna move it here. And that's just really for me for later. All right, I know, ugly right now. The other thing we can do is make it look like a cliff. So we're under the path tool right now. You spend so much time on maps when you make them from scratch. I want them to give the feel of a location without crowding the map over much. That's like the most difficult part, I think. People don't think about it when people make maps. Like when the adventure has 3 trolls in a cave, but the map makers only made the map cave 3 by 3. Yeah, like I don't think 3 trolls would live in a 15-foot cave. Oh, a large pit is in. Yeah, kind of. Me, why is the map so blurry? Oh, it's set to, well, yeah. Also, if I'm streaming, like I can't guarantee it's the best quality. Okay, but anyway, so we're under the path section. The path tool is really nice for making cliffs and stuff. It's also good to add detail to things like paths. I think over like paths, like stone walls. Yes, like paths. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm still getting over sickness, so you have to just excuse me. But this is supposed to be a glade with trees. I honestly think it'd have less rocks now that I'm thinking. Let's just make this a little bigger and just like make it a little more. There. All right. Let's just do some tree stuff. Yeah? Cuz that's the biggest part is going to be the trees. So for me, I like to move. So the cool thing about Dungeondraft is you have like a bunch of different layers. But my problem is that I always forget what layer things are on. I try to start on layer 2, like 200, because then you could put stuff underneath and you could put stuff above. But it doesn't always work. I also want to make sure you turn off the shadow if I didn't already do that. But we're going to do trees. So we need some stumps. I'm going to try to make 2 layers of this map. So one layer is going to be with the tree level, and then one layer is going to be the branches overhead. So it kind of feels like they're walking through a forest when this is happening. We're going to put stumps on here. And where every stump is, there's going to be a tree. But we're going to kind of make it so we're still going to try to make it as easy for me as possible. So they're going to start in this little area. I need it to... We should do the scatter tool for this and on this layer so that it'll go between these stumps. We can do little ones too. So I shift clicked to select all of these guys, and then rotation, you can change how far you want to rotate it, or also the scale. I think the scale, always be careful with scale, because if you make it too big, as soon as you make something big on here, the border on that object gets real thick real fast. Oh, sorry, I know I'm like shaking the whole thing. I got food and I haven't been eating it. But the when you have that thick border on your items, it kind of like, I feel like it detracts. It kind of is like obvious that you just made something really big. Yeah, I found that with the first big map I built, it was too big and a little too open in some places and too crowded in others. Yes. Can you change the opacity of items on a layer? Good question. I don't think so. Is there... Let me see. Levels, no. Yeah, I don't think you can. That is a good question. Or if you can, I am not aware of it. You know? I'll look it up and I can get back to you on that. Yeah, this map is going to be kind of big, but technically it's like 2 maps in one thing. But if you're just starting out, I highly recommend that you play around in a smaller map first. Like just do like 1 floor of a house or like a 1-room shack, because starting small really makes it easier to get used to. We need some big trees over there. Get used to your tool, right? So you get used to where your objects are on your list, and that kind of thing. So who's calling us nerds? Get out of here. You're here too, so you would also be a nerd. But you would be able to like run through your tools and kind of get used to Dungeondraft. I also recommend not getting any assets if it's your first time using Dungeondraft. I would not purchase or download extra assets, because it just it gets to be too much too quickly, and you need to kind of get used to the tool before you start modifying the tool. You know, it's kind of like video games, right? So you don't want to start modding the video game before you like experience the game itself, right? Think of it like that. Okay, and then there's too many. I don't want these. If you hit the mouse wheel, you can shuffle it, and it'll change which one's up. They're pretty close. It's supposed to be a forest, so I don't want only little ones. There we go. Too many little ones. I guess there would be more, probably smaller ones on the edge. But over here's going to be like birch trees. And I guess technically the whole forest would probably have birch trees in it. But that's one thing I think. Well, does the Scronce pack have birch trees? No. Not really. Colorable fire. Yeah. So we're just gonna have to use our good old imagination. All right, this is gonna be so many trees. I mean, we need it to have a lot of trees, but I kind of want a big tree over here. You know, like the, you can also hold, I just held shift to move the map around. You kind of want, oh, I don't want that guy. Get him out of here. What was I saying? I have lost all train of thought. Apologies. But yeah, you can, in this area, we want those like birch trees. So we're just gonna have to use our imagination and pretend that these are like white birch trees. Oh, I was gonna put a big tree here because actually this would probably work. I feel like a unicorn would be protecting nature or something, right? So I think we're gonna have to move some of these around, to be honest. I'll keep my little ones here. Yes, this looks like a lot of trees. It's a forest. I am going to block sections off though. All right, so I've put a whole bunch down, but I don't love where all of these are, so I'm gonna move them. So on the left here, that bottom one is a select tool, so you can literally pick anything up and move it around. I haven't used it, but I just found something called Universal Battle Map Importer, which according to them can import Dungeondraft maps into Foundry. You are correct, sir. It'll also, it will import your maps using, like if you put walls in here and you put lighting and stuff in Dungeondraft, it'll transfer all of that into Foundry, so you don't have to do that. Which is good, because if you ask me, the Dungeondraft, I'm sorry, not the Dungeondraft, the Foundry version of light sources and all of that is a pain in the butt to use, and their wall builder is a pain. So it honestly is much nicer that it just imports from Dungeondraft, where you can really tailor the whole thing. I need one more little tree. Here we go. I'm gonna move this guy kind of over here. It's supposed to be like a clearing with trees, right? So we want it to be kind of clear up here. I'll move this guy here. I don't know that trees, do trees this big grow very close to each other like this? One thing that I've learned mostly in like dealing with people who are pro map makers like Birdie, they say you should like look at real places and then compare and contrast and like figure out how you would actually do that. I like using, oh wait, sorry. Is there a way to disable the default assets? That's a good question. Let me look. I don't know that you can. No, yeah, there is. So if you're under assets, I just pulled this up. On the bottom right, it says disable default assets. So the answer is yes. I like using Tailspire and Dungeon Alchemist. I also have Arkenforge, but never really use it. I've never heard of any of those. I will have to look up all three later. Usually big ones with a lot of smaller ones near them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, because it like they drop seeds or whatever. Oop. So let's spread these out a little. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't have to be, it's a game. It doesn't have to be super accurate, right? But all right, so that's good. Let's add some walls. This will seem funny, right? But I don't want my players to be able to actually get through the forest, to be honest. You know, I don't want them going off the path. And it's supposed to be like a thick, corrupted forest. So I'm also going to have the NPC who gives the quest kind of mention that, you know, you should stay on the path and that kind of thing. So we're going to actually put some walls in here. But they're not going to be able to see them. So let's see. We don't want the shadow on because I hate the default shadows. They really suck. They're fine if you don't want to do the extra work, which is, you know, an option. I don't think it matters what I use really for the walls because we're just kind of, yeah, we're just gonna make it like, where's that little rope? Yeah, this thing. So they're not gonna be able to see it if I do it correctly. I honestly don't want them. Okay, wait. So this one you can just click. If you hold shift, you can make curves. Again, all of your tooltips are at the bottom left. So I guess I don't really have to explain all of that, but I'm just going to kind of block this off a bit. It's okay if it goes through the trees. All right. Kind of keeping it about two blocks away from the path. I think that would be fine. When we get into Dungeondraft, I mean, we are in Dungeondraft. When we get into Foundry, this will all automatically populate for me too. So actually, we don't want that there. You can hit, I think it's backspace to undo the last point. Yep. And then we're just going to do like this. I'm actually going to hit shift here. And then make a curve. So when you do a curve, you want to put down one point, then you hold shift and put down the other end point. And then what you're pulling back, it's hard to see probably on here, but it's a pink line. And then you click and that'll finish that up for you. We need the other point like here. Oops. I forgot to hold shift. And there we go. I'm gonna just do, it's gonna be kind of hard because it's on the edge. Let's back it up. Oh, back it up here. Hold shift. There you go. I'm just gonna put it along the wall here. It also will prevent them from being able to go off the map. All right. We'll do it like this. And honestly, anything beyond the walls, they're not going to be able to see. So I'm not going to get like super fancy with those. I'm going to close it off. All right. Don't worry. They're not going to be able to see that line. That's more for us visually. Although I guess they'll see this one. We might want to get rid of that last point. Let's click. Huh? Can I get rid of just that point? No, of course not. Why would you be able to do that? Let's see. Go back to the path tool. Let's see. Edit points up here. We're just going to delete if we can. Hello? You won't let me do it. Oh, because we're not in path. We were in wall. Wall edit points. Again, not an expert. We're going to pull it out like this. So then you can't see it. Cheated. All right. There we go. That's better. Because that one they would probably be able to see. I might move this tree slightly to be like here. I might make it a little bigger too. Yeah, see, as soon as you make it bigger, the lines stick out a little more. What else is going on in the chat? Dungeon Alchemist is good. All right, I'll have to look it up. It's great for room or building maps. It will also populate an area based on what you want it to be. That's interesting. Yeah, the big ones tend to have crowded out other trees of their age, so only younger saplings grow below and around them. Guess it's obvious I'm the forest druid girl. Yeah. But it's helpful. We're going to pull these into here. Because again, they're not going to be able to see the stumps outside. There we go. This is probably too close. Still didn't eat my sandwich. This is what happens. Might need more trees. Trying to make it look natural. Trying. All right. So there's that. We're not going to put the trees that are supposed to be on top of these guys yet, because I feel like that'll crowd us out real fast. So let's focus on the glade first. Then we'll also do the stuff underneath, because I think as soon as we put the tree tops on, it's going to be too distracting and I'm not going to be able to see what's underneath. And that's the part that they're going to focus on. That wall trick is super helpful. I didn't know that it existed. Yeah, you can edit the walls and it makes it a little bit easier. Instead of deleting it. Because in the beginning, I used to just delete everything. And then I was like, there's got to be a better way. And of course there was. All right. Let's work on the glade. So I think this tree needs to be like, I don't know, like a cherry blossom tree. Maybe this is the Zelda person in me, right? Wanting like a big, if anybody's played Breath of the Wild and you see all those like trees with the, it's not a unicorn, but it's this Satori underneath them. That's why I was like, it's gotta have a big pink tree. Let's just, you can filter your objects based on tags. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to put this above walls. Okay. Because not that it'll matter right now because we're not near a wall, but it will matter later. So do it now. But let's see. I want to sort by tags. Here we go. Tags on the top right. And then there should be a tree one. Should be. Oh yeah. Oof. Big tree. I wonder if the Scront's Greenery has a cool tree though. Those are bushes. Let's change the color. So on the left, if you change the color to whatever you want, it'll change the asset preview on the right. Here we go. Look, flowering trees. But these aren't the most beautiful. I like the big pink one. We'll just make it a little bigger to match what I want. So scale. Let's be careful with the scale though. That's not too bad. Let's try 2. Yeah, see how dark those lines get, but it'll be okay. All right, that's the big pink tree. We'll worry about those other trees in a minute. Let's put some roots down, right? Because underneath trees, there's going to be roots. The trees are on layer 200, so we're going to go to layer 100. This also makes it easy if I want to select things on a particular layer. You can adjust the opacity of them with the alpha channel at the bottom of each color picker window. What? Alpha channel? Like this. Oh, I see. Like the whole layer though? Or is that just the individual objects? Because there's just the individual objects. That's kind of a pain in the butt. All right, let's do scatter tool. Go back to tags. This is one thing I hate. I wish you could just hit a button and change it to the scatter tool instead of having to having two different lists for that. It just doesn't make sense. But because now I have to go and find it, and go to the tree section. Yeah, so let's add some roots. I don't know that it would be that big for that guy. Oh, that's huge. We don't need that one. Let me check sizes first. This guy, probably until these. Yeah, these ones are mossy. We can come back for those. Those are burned wood. That's probably important because again, we have, oh, we're on layer 200 instead of 100. Again, if I didn't have to do all that stuff with the tool, you could just click to switch the tool. You wouldn't have to worry about that. But whatever. It is what it is. So I heard this thing. My local druid can confirm for me if this is true. But when we had a tree that in our backyard that at our old house that we had to have taken down, they said that however tall your tree is how many roots are in the ground as well. So like everything you see above is also below into the ground. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm doing some of the roots. Like the tree is going to be pretty tall. Now, not all of them are going to be showing either. I mean, you can see a little bit right near it, right? But this is kind of a big one here. I think, oh, you know what else though? There wouldn't be a lot of grass under the tree because it wouldn't get a lot of sun. Click on the object and see. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. That's the same or similar to that one. All right. I don't necessarily need it for all of these guys. Okay. That's probably good. It's gonna get real busy real fast otherwise. But terrain, so we should add some dirt underneath these trees because again, there's not gonna be a lot of life under them because there's not a lot of light. Although I guess it's a mystical forest, so maybe there's still some, but it'll be very specific kinds of greenery, I feel like. This area might actually have more because it'll be a little more clear. So I feel like it could have some. There we go. This tree probably underneath there won't have a lot. Like along the road, it'd probably get a little bit of sun, so you can still see a little bit of the greenery. All right, I think that's good enough. Not a lot of grass under the tree due to lack of sun. Interesting fact, some trees can excrete a toxin from the roots that kills other trees. What? That's crazy. Black walnuts are one of those trees. What? That's why they're often used they're often used as field hedge trees. Wow. Fun facts. You guys are more knowledgeable about forests than I am. I just play D&D. Okay. That's good. Back to the glade. Let's add some leaves from our trees. Dead leaves. Oh, we're not in the scatter tool. Here we go. Scatter tool. Should be good. So under your trees, there's going to be dead leaves. It's not fall, so there's not going to be like pretty colors, but every tree drops leaves, you know, throughout the year. Oh, that one doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to see that. There you go. We'll add some little plants too, because there's certain types of plants that don't need a lot of. I'm gonna get rid of snapping because it's snapping to the crosshairs, which is good most of the time, but not all the time. Snapping to the grid, but there are certain types of plants that survive in the shade. They probably had to because the trees block them out. So we will put some around. And then the other thing we want is vines to make it look like our pit of snakes is natural. I think that's going to be the hardest part. All right. That should be pretty good. So another thing I learned was throw everything down. You can always move it later or delete it later if you feel like there's too much going on. So like just throw it down. It's better to have like too much than not enough, I feel like. So do that. I grew up in forests and near farms. Ask me about cities and I'm clueless. I mean, I'm clueless about cities too, so what do I know? Okay, so now let's work on the vines. There's a tab. Here it is. I don't love these vines, but we'll play with them. I want to try to make it look like they're on the trees. These probably need to be up a layer. So undo that one. So it's going to be hard to like make this look natural. The other thing we're going to need is an actual pit. So we need to denote that here. I honestly think vines would spread out all over the road. I'm gonna have to make it might have to put like sticks and stuff in on the path too to make it look just more organic. That's like in the stump. We don't want it in the stump. Forests are hard, man. I figured this map would be kind of difficult to make. The things I do for one-shots. Can you imagine what I do for campaigns? Too much. All right. I know the in-between. That sounds like a I was gonna say like a Doctor Who episode or something, or like Charmed. That's what I was thinking. There's like an episode of Charmed where they talk about the in-between and they like turn Prue into like a small child or something. I don't know. It's very specific reference, I think. Okay, we can put some under here. We're gonna have to move these trees too. All right, now let's find some sticks. Let's just go to wood. Because that's another thing. Trees fall in the woods. So we could do that too. Like fallen logs here and there. You don't want too many, because then I think they'll be on to us. Like this. All right. I think that's okay. Good enough. We do have some burnt wood over here. Maybe we make one of these trees actually burnt from the you know, the fire from the nightmares. So I think I'll just keep that. I'll delete the one underneath him. But let's do that, and then wasn't there a burnt log here or something? It's not the floating one. Here. Burnt wood. So these three. I think we'll just put some. Because things are burning here. In fact, we're going to make it look orange. Ask Kirsty anything about the country, me about stuff in the city, and Kylie about anything to do with the TV show Charmed. I don't know everything about Charmed. I stopped watching after, like, I don't know, whenever they started that school stuff, where like what's her face opened a school and they were teaching kids magic or whatever. So when I stopped watching, I'm like, okay, this is getting a little much for me. I'm just gonna put these in here. We might actually, yeah, there you go. That's fine. That'll tell me where to put the, actually, let's move this wall a little bit. Where are we? Wall. It's already been an hour and we haven't, I feel like haven't even gotten very far. The problem when you do curves is that they put a point all along the curve, so when you move it, it's kind of a pain. I don't even need it to be perfect though. I just want to move it a little bit. There you go. There you go. It's okay that it's unnatural. All right. Does that look like a lot of objects? Because we're not even halfway. Let's add plants. Scouter tool at the same level as our stumps. Let's go to that greenery pack that I downloaded. So the cool thing about the scouter tool is you can also select different colors, so it can vary the colors. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's do some flowers. Yes. Maybe purples, blues, yellows, reds. Don't want too many flowers because, oh, but it is a magical forest, so I guess it could be fine. These are branches. These are bushes. We could do that. Different colored bushes. Here we go, with flowers on it. We just do some down here. I don't want too many. They might not even be able to see them. But I'll know they're there. Alright. Yeah, they probably won't be able to see them there, but here they'll be able to see some. Why are they all small bushes? And here they'll see some. There we go. Oh man, sorry. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Don't get sick. It sucks. I think it's going around too. Alright, so there's that. Let's put some spiky bushes. Excuse. Oh, and this one too. Alright, wait, let's do some of these. They're very small though. I don't want to go too far out into bushes and stuff. Let's add some rocks. Alright. So, just regular rocks. Let's see, some rocks here. That's big. Because you would have boulders in a forest. We're gonna need boulders in the pit. We should work on the pit. I'm nervous about the pit. So, let's do the pit. We need to do two things. Okay, so here's the thought process here. Explaining myself. One, it's got to cover that whole entire area. I don't want them to be able to, like, walk around it. Two, it needs to blend in with the path. But it's essentially they're stepping on a whole bunch of snakes and then it falls. So that's why I thought vines, but I just don't know how we're going to make that into snakes. Not with the asset pack. Let's look and see it. The path tool. A thatch roof. Because we could do something like, I don't know. Like the reed path is good, but a fruitless root. Oh, that would be good too, I guess, but sandstone path. All right, I'm just not sure how to recreate this. It might just be a use your imagination. I wanted to do something cool, you know, always try. We could, what kind of walls are there actually? No. Cave, we could put a cave pit here. Alright, I think path is our best bet. Oops. We'll put it on 100, the lowest. We can use one of these cliff ones, but we should match the terrain a little bit. Oh man. Okay, so I recently watched the YouTube clip Shia LaBeouf by Rob Cantor. Such a good song. Anyways, I decide to create an encounter in the forest for my party with Shia LaBeouf who tracks them. Oh no. It does seem like something in Kirsty's in your druid's wheelhouse for sure. Text box says snakes here. It kind of does. It just says, you know, we could put that there, but I think that would, you know, kind of defeat the surprise aspect of it. But okay, so the pit itself, I should put it on its own. I'm trying to think this through. I think I put it on layer 1. I draw the pit, then I cover the pit with logs or vines, and then we have to blend those into the rest of the scenery. This is gonna be the hardest part. So we'll need a little cliff. So I think this matches pretty well. So let's do that. I'm in edit points, which we don't want. Should I snap it? Let's snap it, because it'll just make it easier for me. Oh, that's too big. Hold on. Let's make it smaller. Oops, like 1.5. And then it might still be too big. Is this one bigger? It is. We'll just... Oh, wait, this one... This one might work too. Here. Well, now it's too small. What? Whoa. All right. Okay. We're gonna shift click because we're gonna make some circles. And then shift click. I mean, it's not like... It's a 10-foot hole. Yeah, it says the loose dirt walls of this 10-foot hole are challenging to climb. The soil at the edge of the pit is also unstable. So, you know. Oops, I was holding shift. Oh. That's fine. Okay, there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. Nature's not perfect. Nature has jagged edges and is out to kill you sometimes. All right. That's the edge of the pit. We should color it a little better. Maybe add something dark. Oh, we should check the music because this is going to get us banned. There we go. We'll have to ignore that. Probably have to fix that later. Okay. There we go. All right. So there's our pit full of snakes. Now we need snakes across the pit. And we need to blend it in. Let's just look at all the objects. Get out of tags. This is kind of the hard part when it comes to map making and you have something specific you need to match. Oh, rope could work too. Because it kind of... Oh, it's big. Why is it big? Scale down. Yeah. Just add some of these here. It will look like rope, but they'll ask and I'll be like, it's not rope. It's just an illusion. Logs. What am I looking for? It's gears. We need something that looks like vines or snakes, but isn't a snake or a vine. Reeds. This is grass. How big is it? Tiny. Roots are also, I guess, a thing, though, right? You could just make it look like a lot of roots. And then we could extend... That's a huge root for this. Here we go. This is probably a big enough tree. And just extend... Oh, Lord. That's huge. Extend that into the path more. I don't want these ginormous ones. I guess the ginormous ones would cover more road, though. Oh, Lord. Already looks so cluttered. That's a dead tree. Some thorns. Okay. Let's just do... Now that there's more in the road, though, I could cover it with more vines. And that could make it seem less weird. I think after this, it doesn't have to have as many vines, but the beginning part, too, is supposed to be... they must navigate foliage that acts like the spike growth spell. So, it's supposed to be kind of difficult terrain up there anyway. You know? This is what the pit would look like, though, with the snakes in it. Right? We also need to make a tile that we can put over it. So let's save this real fast because I haven't saved anything. Maps. Run my one shot. This is called, what is this? Nightmare Glade. Okay, now let's go to layer 4 and let's just figure out how to cover this hole. We could just make it look like... Can we just make it look like the path? With stones. We could do it with the stones. Brain blast. My Jimmy Neutron. Brain is working. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So let's do some stones. I told you this was going to be a hard map. Stone, 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 stones. Might be under rocks or structures. Rock? Do I know my alphabet? Okay, not under that. Let's go to structure. Actually, here. No, there's the 2. All right, here we go. All right, we've got that. No, see, all of these are too well defined. I kind of just want flagstones. Just wait, you'll see, and you'll be like, oh, I understand what you're doing. Or you won't understand my madness, and that's perfectly fine too. These are not part of the regular asset pack. These are from Birdie. They're free, so go get them. But they look very similar to Dungeondraft stuff, which is why I like them. Like, they have a similar style. Here, we have to match. So these are flagstones. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Oh, these have to be underneath. My bad. Undo, undo. These have to be on the lowest level. Over here. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going for... gonna change the sorting to under, so it's under the roots. But I think the roots would pull them up too. You know, so like this. Take the snapping off. Look at that, environmental storytelling. Who knew? Alright. Or make a swarm of snakes token for Foundry. And then place that creature in the pit. Yes. Now that's the plan, is to use... we're going to make a tile that goes over it to hide it. Which will be a pain, to be honest. But... because it's got to blend in, you know? So that's going to be hard. but I think it'll be pretty easy if I just kind of copy the map and then delete it. But I think we also just... we also just add these stones, and that will kind of give me something to use to cover it. Can you tell words are hard when I'm multitasking? There you go. All right, we can put some more roots and stuff on them to hide them a little better, blend them in a little. But that gives me that. So let's go to 4, and we're going to kind of add, where is it? Let's see. Yeah, I guess we can just add these. All right, we can do the rest of this later off stream. But now we're going to take these. So I'm in select mode. And take all of these. Copy and paste them. Actually, Control Z, undo. Go to this layer and then paste them. Can I move them, bring to the front? Oh, I didn't put them on this layer. Oh my goodness, stop. Undo, undo. What happened here? We've messed it up somehow. Okay, here, hold on. Let's reload the tool. Okay, somehow I broke it and moved that tree glitched out on me. It's fine. Oop. I'm gonna take these. Can I group them? Yeah, see? It keeps glitching out. Stop. Helps if your tools working together. All right, so we're going to... let's just make a prefab with it. Organic. It won't let me. We might have to refresh. Hold on. Exit. Hello. Dungeondraft. Okay, good thing I just saved. Okay, let's try again. Select all these like vines is what I'm trying to select. That's also what happens when you use a lot of asset packs, unfortunately. Let's make a prefab, organic. There we go. Name. We call this vines for the pit. Snap. All right, now we're gonna go here to my prefabs, go to organic, vines for the pit. All right, we need to put it here. We're gonna move it though. Bring to the front. It's snapping though. This is all gonna make sense. I promise. Just hold the phone. All right. Now, actually separate. Ah, wait. Undo. Is there two of them now? What the heck? Oh my goodness. I'm making it. There we go. All right. Again, I'm not an expert in this. I'm going to put this. We should have probably copied the stones to here. This is layer 4. We have this on layer 4 too. Let's add more. So we should. Can we open it in another one? Actually, hold on. Let's do this. Let's select all of this right here. Minus this tree. So let's do this, 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 and this. Copy. We'll paste it over here. Make a prefab 2. I'll have to delete the other one. Well, that's fine. We're going to do this. This will probably be the last thing I do on stream so that I'm not here for forever. Have fun finishing the map. Thanks. So let's do this. Actually, I might put the trees on too, just at least a little bit so you guys see. And I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to make it like A4 paper. Did I save? Let's save again. New one. A4 paper. Doesn't matter. We're going to turn off the terrain. Brush. We're going to put that on here. Oops. In the middle. Okay. The only other thing though is we probably want it to look more covered in vines, right? But this will help us line it up because this is there. We'll probably have to remove these on that other version, but that's okay. But we will add more vines to cover it up. And then really we'll just have to see when I load it in. Where am I? Objects. Vines. We could even add more stakes and stuff too. Turn off snapping. Is the shadow on? Turn that off. Put this over. All right. It's gonna look kind of strange, but I think it'll be good enough. All right. So there's that. Let's add maybe some more flagstones even. Under stone. Then I'm just gonna export this guy. Okay, we're gonna export this guy as a PNG. Actually, nope, we'll save this as snake pit. Export it as a PNG, no grid, no lighting, because it just that stuff doesn't matter. And then export. We're gonna put this next to that. Gotta call it snake pit. All right. So then when I go to put this map into Foundry, I will use this tile to cover the hole. So there's that. That's done. Open this guy back up. Now I need to blend it more with these though. So like, I'm gonna need this just to be empty, and the snakes are going to be underneath. More of these. Just trying to... Oop. Make it look like I'm hiding something without making it look like I'm hiding something. All right. Under. And then we can continue this bunch of flagstones kind of this way. Some more broken ones in and around. Turn the snap off. I love and hate the snap. Sometimes it's nice to have. Sometimes I just want things to be askew. All right. So there's that. Now let's do some of the trees just so you guys can see. And then I will probably finish up the rest of it off camera. And then do the importing and stuff later after I eat my sandwich. That is probably very cold now. But yeah, so let's do that. So we'll go to object tool. So again, we have different size trees. Let's do tag. Go to the tree tag. So like we want this layer to be above the walls because we want to hide that wall. Okay. But we probably need it to be, so I think the little trees can be about this big. Yeah. And that big one closer to this size. That still seems a little big. Here, maybe this size. So these three are all about the same, and then these 3 or 4 can be the other ones. We can add some of these too. But let's do scatter tool. Oh my goodness. Tree. Let's do that for this. We need to be above walls, and we're also going to fill all of this up, but it doesn't matter what layer, but I am just going to put it on the above walls layer and export the layer by itself. So let's do that. We're going to do this, and then we're also going to just fill in around here because we want it to feel, this might have a big tree here. That's too big. Yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna just put it right above our stumps, right? There you go. That's probably good. Now let's do these other trees. And then we'll do stuff in the middle. That should be under, actually, under the big tree. There we go. I'm gonna cover everything, but we also have to make these look like they're on fire. Like, that's a whole thing we'll have to play around with too. But no big deal right now. This one's on fire. Let's add some of these. It's just a slightly different iteration on trees. I think that's too big. Maybe it would be okay. Yeah. All right, so there's that. Now we need to hide the rest of the wall, okay? And just in general, fill the forest. So I'm gonna use mostly these. We're just gonna like dot them everywhere. It doesn't matter too much over there. We're just filling it in because it's a glade. Okay, just don't want them to see the wall. It's okay that they hang off. Oops, let's make it, we'll change that up a little bit. All right, now let's throw some of these in there as well. Because we can also kind of make the wall invisible. You can change the property in Foundry so that it like looks slightly different, so they could technically see what's beyond the wall. Will you be adjusting the opacity on those tiles so they don't pop so much? Maybe. Yeah, because they're all a little yeah, they are a little bit too the contrast between those colors and the path are a little too much. But yeah, look, we already made a whole forest so quickly. Just trying to hide that little. We need some big trees here. There you go. It's okay if you could see it a little bit because it was a brown set of vines. But yeah, there we go. That's the gist of the map. I do think some of these, I think here it's okay, but some of these, I wish you could fade them. You know what I mean? Like fade the edges of them. That is not something you can do. I could, though, go in. Actually, you know what you could do? Object tool. I need the... What is it called? It's here. I think it's with the Kroger's light pack. These little circles. Okay. Which I know, like, what are you doing with this? But we can color pick. So using this guy here, we'll pick this color. And then we could actually put this on top. And then it kind of blends in a little more. Does add objects to your thing. But then it... Oops. Undo. Color picker, please. There you go. So I think that helps quite a bit. Oops, is this a circle? There's a circle. Yeah. I'll do that here too. Just kind of blends it in. It is above the walls though. Ugh, I do this every time. Hold on. Undo. Need it to be like 4 is fine. Layers. The layers get me every time. There we go. This is under them. There we go. Over. Yeah. So that'll help a lot. It won't be perfect, but again, this is a one-shot. As much as I like to provide the best crap for my players. Oops. I keep hitting the wrong button to switch. There we go. The best crap. That was very specific. Yes. Remembering to flip through the layers is definitely my arch nemesis in this. It just like, it's a minor thing you would think you would just do, but yeah, this is a little bit easier than trying to click on all of them and adjust opacity, but I also don't like that middle part. I think it'll be okay. But this will also blend in other things on the trail too a little bit, so I don't have to select everything. But I think having some of them pop is okay. This might need to be a little... I keep hitting the mouse wheel button to move, which is not how you do it. You're supposed to use the space bar. I think that's a different... It's probably like a Photoshop thing or something. Except... Yeah, there we go. And it almost makes it look like there's dust or dirt on it or something. All right, so there's that. And we got time, so let's add some fire too, because all of this other stuff is on fire. So like this tree is on fire. I don't know how big these are. This is the Scront's fire pack, I'm pretty sure. I don't think these are built into Foundry. I also, though, you know what? I kind of want it to be a tile. Because when they put out the fire, it'll go away. And that would be cool to change the map, you know? So let's do that. Let's put it on... It needs to be on its own layer. And then I can just move it. So we'll keep it on layer 4. Actually, it needs to be probably above everything, huh? Let's put it on the above roofs one. So technically, so what it is the burning trees create a wall of magical fire that the party cannot see through. 5 nightmares can be found within the circular glade. So they can't see through it too. That's going to be a little bit more particular. And I might do that in Foundry so that I can just delete the whole wall. I think that would be a little bit easier. Or actually, you can set it up to have... I forget what it's called. In Foundry, you can set it up so that you can't see through it until you cross, but you can cross through it. So I think I'll do that with this magical fire. But it's like a wall of fire. A circular wall of fire. So we're just gonna try our best here. We're also gonna make it glow, I think. This is not a very good circle. I guess it's fine. I don't know that they'll be able to see the whole circle anyway. And then we'll use one of those glowy doohickers, whatever they're called, halfway up here. Like this. Is this a large one? The only problem with the Krogger stuff is like figuring out which one is. That's not big enough. There we go. It's figuring out what is what in here because it's hard to read. 4 is the biggest we can have. Is this the largest? A full large circle. Yep. Because they are kind of in alphabetical order, but they're not. And they're all one word. And I don't know if you can rename assets. That might be something I should consider doing. I'm going to kind of do this. And then in Foundry itself, I'll probably add a light token here that flickers and makes things glow orange. You can change the color and stuff on Foundry. But yeah, so there's that. But we're gonna select it. Let's go to this. So if you want to select certain things just on a layer, you can do that. So here under the select tab, I'm gonna uncheck all and then just check above roofs because that's where I put everything. And then we're just gonna take that. I'm gonna make it into a prefab. I'm gonna call it fire circle. And we're gonna hit OK. And then we're gonna delete it from here. And then save the map. Nope, we need... Well, we could open the snake pit one. And delete it. Well, actually, it might be too big. Yeah, it's too big. Okay, never mind. New. Don't save that. Let's just do... Wait, which one's bigger? Let's just add tiles to this. Let's do 25, 25, ooh, 2,500. No, thank you. And then no terrain. Prefab. I can't see because there's a glare on my screen. I think that's in the middle. Nope. Export. No grid, no lighting. Although, what's the difference? How is that happening? Export fire circle. It's real big. Might have to adjust it when I get in there, but all right. I think that's pretty good though for this map. Oh, did it put this in there? Oh. Hold on. I don't know why it exported that way. Let's try again. Fire circle, save, yes, overwrite. Thank you. So I think that's pretty good. The only thing I didn't do is add shadows, which will take a long time. So we don't need to save that one. So we can do, I can show a little. Let's see. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to get off, but I'm like, I also want to finish the map. I probably do, so these are the shadow packs. Again, it's hard to find the right ones. You can search large 100. You want like 75 probably. And then all I'm going to do for this is to just add, shadow under here. But 75 is too dark. Let's do 50. Oh, okay. It's hard. You see, but it kind of adds a lot. I did put this on user layer 1. Again, forgetting to change my layers, but it should be okay. It's more for the effects. Just following the tree line more than anything. Need it to cover in here too, though. So you can see through there. Oh boy, we're getting like crazy here. If you right click, it'll stop your path. And you can start a new path. That's what I did there. All right. There we go. All right, I'm not gonna make you guys watch me do this forever. But I mean, you've already been watching me do this forever. But that's essential, I think, for adding just a little more depth to things. But yeah, let's switch to face cam. Where are we? Hello. All right, so there you go. If you want to see my players romp about in this, we'll be streaming tomorrow at the same time. It'll probably be a 4-hour stream, so pop in whenever. But yeah, I hope that this was somewhat helpful, at least to some of you. And then also, you know, just chatting with me. If you have questions about Dungeondraft, you can always drop them in the comments, and I'll try to help you out. And this will be posted probably tomorrow, so it takes 24 hours usually. But yeah, so thanks for joining me. Just pretty chill. Probably gonna continue doing this after I eat my Arby's that's been sitting there for like an hour. So yeah. I'll be back on schedule next week, hopefully, because I am feeling so much better. So expect a regular video next Friday at noon. And if you're into you know, you want to be a part of the stream that's happening on Saturday, or, you know, you have questions and stuff and I don't respond to you fast enough, joining the Discord is probably the best way to keep in contact. And we have plenty of people who can help you with map making and Foundry and that kind of stuff. Although nobody's an expert here, but we do have a really good set of people who are super helpful. And so do that. Join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.